Saw dudes. This is that ultra hardcore completionist with no armory upgrades equipped on Nightfall. So before I do anything else, I'm gonna explain what the hell that even meant. So, ultra hardcore means I'm playing a co-op game on hardcore difficulty by myself. Hardcore makes it so there's more enemies, their AI is more aggressive, and my skill tree progression rate is cut in half, so it makes me weaker for longer. And then co-op makes there be even more enemies on top of that, and they damage the drill faster. It also means I have no self-revives, so if I go down once, I die. Just no second chances at all. And then, the completionist means I got all 14 challenges. And you see one just pop up on the left side of the screen there. It says keep shot accuracy at 50%. I get a challenge every time I start up one of these hives, and they're randomly selected, so I don't know exactly which one I'm going to get before playing the drill. However, they don't repeat, so I usually have a general idea of which ones it can be, and I can kind of get ready for which ones it could be. Then, the Armory Upgrades, which I'm doing this run without, are essentially this game's long-term progression system. There's a bunch of incredibly powerful upgrades in the Armory that you can unlock by just grinding the hell out of the game. The most notable ones are the Weapon Specialist upgrade, which is that infinite ammo thing I use all the time. The Cryptid Slayer ammo, which is the ammo with all 4 special effects, so it's Incendiary, Armor Piercing, Stun, and Explosive, and it's really good. I don't have it. And Double Class, which is what lets me run the Medic class and Weapon Specialist class at the same time. So I've unequipped those 3 powerful ones, as well as the other 29 of the Armory Upgrades. And this presented a bunch of problems that I wasn't used to dealing with. The first thing you may have noticed was that I just straight up didn't even set up for the game before playing the drill. It's because I don't have the more cash armory upgrade, right? That lets me start with 1500, which is enough money to buy a Maverick. And then once you have a primary weapon, you can search boxes and find attachments. But since I didn't have that, I had to wait until like just about then to get enough money to buy the Maverick. And the lack of the start with a skill point upgrade means that I'm basically going to be 1 point behind where I normally am in my upgrade track. We're going to feel that a lot in this first area. It's going to feel like we have absolutely nothing to work with. So there's this subtle little trick that I'm going to do with the drill here. So you can't actually climb up ledges when you're carrying the drill. It's really tricky. You usually have to go up staircases, but I found a way. So you'll see it here in a sec. I'm going to run up to this ledge. I'm going to pretend like I dropped the drill, and then I'm going to jump at the same time. Boom. I just took it up a ledge. You drop the drill and jump at the same time. It's weird. Okay, so this challenge. It can be tricky if the turret locations are ass, like they are here. But if you actually have a turret like in your loadout, you can use those to cheese this challenge. But I don't, so I just got to use this thing. And let's talk about my loadout. So this is my old school loadout. I'd basically run this back before all those stupidly OP armory upgrades like double class were added with the final DLC. So I have Weapon Specialist in my class so that I can get all of those weapon handling bonuses like Quick Draw, Stalker, and especially Sleight of Hand, as well as that big 50% damage boost at the very end. And then I got the MP443 as the strap. It's full auto and obviously the best pistol, like no contest. The 44 can be fun to use, but it only has like a legitimate use in maybe like super duper low ammo runs. But don't ever use the P2D6, the M9, they suck ass. And then I got Incendiary Ammo. It's the little fire bullet above my 380 right now. If you don't have the Cryptid Slayer Ammo upgrade, you either roll Incendiaries or Armor Piercing. That's the way to go. Armor Piercing gives you a big boost against Rhinos, and Incendiaries give you kind of like a moderate boost against everything. So I just picked the Incendiaries. I like that a little better. And then I have Armor. It's basically a secondary health bar that I can refill instantly for $1,000 bucks, and this run would absolutely not be possible without Armor. Then I got the Riot Shield as my equalizer. I use it just to protect my back from hits. I tried out the MK32 like grenade launcher for a while, but it turned out to be way too expensive to use. I was planning on using the MK32 to like clear off a group of enemies, you know, for my ass if they're like eating me, but it's too expensive, and then the Venom X would make it irrelevant anyways in the third area, so just slap the Riot Shield on. And then lastly, I got my IMS as my strike package. I need something that I can just plop on the drill at level 0 with no investment on my part and count on it to guard the drill. And that's the only thing that'll do that. The Vulture, you know, it only guards you. The sentry guns need to be babysit, so IMS is it. Yep. And my standard, like, super duper mega pimp daddy loadout is just the evolved version of this, so playstyle is the same as always. Oh, and this little secret area, this got revealed by destroying the Hive. These boxes have way better odds than the other boxes outside of those, so you always search those up. Yep. So that was a mouthful, huh? So now, now that the game's stepping up in intensity, I'm gonna get off this script pretty much and just react to the game so it's a little more interesting. So this challenge is, normally I have my infinite ammo trick to take care of this challenge in the late game, but since I don't have the weapon specialist upgrade, I don't have that trick. So it's really lucky that I got this challenge this early, because this would destroy me if I got this on like the last Hive. And even then, I still have to get creative with it, because I can't just use the infinite ammo to refill my mag for me, and I don't have any other tricks. You see me using like Semtex and the Riot Shield and stuff. So if you look down at my equipment, they're in the very bottom right of the screen. There's a Semtex grenade and a throwing knife there. That throwing knife is actually a hypno knife, and it turns an enemy friendly when I hit it with it. And because I'm lacking a certain armory upgrade, the strongest enemy that I can actually get with that hypno knife and like turn him friendly is a phantom. And so you're gonna see that later in this Hive. The phantoms are really, really dangerous and hardcore. I mentioned, like, back in the beginning of in the game, I mentioned that hardcore makes the enemies more aggressive. Basically what that means is a lot of times when you're playing on regular difficulty, the enemies will just kind of like stand back like 30 feet away and just kind of look at you all creepy. Oh, here comes the phantom. Here he comes. Got him. Yeah, and you couldn't see the there's actually like a throwing knife reticle there, but I'm in hardcore, so it removes that from the HUD, so it just looked like I had no HUD for a sec. But yeah, okay. So hardcore makes the enemies more aggressive. So instead of just sitting back and looking at you, they're much more likely to just keep attacking you, and that's a problem with the Phantom. So the Phantom's entire thing is that he likes to sit like far away and then run up and do two like really powerful hits on you, and then like run away immediately after. Each hit from the Phantom takes off like a third of your health, and so his deal is he likes to hang out and then run up to you and take a lot of your health off and then run away. The problem is when his AI is more aggressive, sometimes he'll just run up to you, hit you twice, back up like 2 feet, and then do it again and just immediately kill you, and you have like no way to react to that because it just drops you so fast. Like, he kills you in 4 hits, and he can dish out 4 hits like. So yeah, that's why I use the hypno knife to just insta kill him, so I don't even have to worry about him anymore. This challenge was surprisingly frustrating. They seem to have a way of being able to just barely close the distance inside 65 feet whenever you're shooting. Like, you always feel like you're killing them at like 63 feet or something. You know, Seekers are actually a lot more dangerous in this than I remembered. There's an armory upgrade that I'm missing. It's called Seeker Explosion Protection, and that upgrade makes it so that whenever I get hit by Seekers, they do less damage to me. And apparently it's a lot less damage because these Seekers were kicking my ass in the numerous attempts that it took me to get this run done. Oh, check this out. The Scorpion just blew himself up with one of the little red barrels. Yeah, Seekers, at least in these first 2 areas, they spawn out of the meteors, and they always spawn in groups of 4. And so if you aren't able to take them out really quickly, they can all swarm you and kill you really fast. Normally, the counter to Seekers is explosive ammo, because, you know, the Seekers are really small and fast and hard to hit, so they're so jittery. And explosive ammo makes that not a problem, right? Explosive ammo just dunks on them because they have no health either. But I don't have that, so I actually have to like be accurate and hit them now, and that's pretty tricky. Oh yeah, and Scorpions are of course a bigger problem than they normally are in this run, because normally I have the double class with the with medic, so I have weapon specialist in medic, and the third upgrade in medic makes me immune to the scorpion's gas clouds, and I don't have that now. So, you know, if a scorpion shoots a gas cloud on me, that's a big yikes, because they kind of like freeze you in place, and they do just a shitload of damage. Okay, so we got a boss fight coming up here after this hive, and I got a lot of explosive stuff to explain, so I'm going to go back on script and start a little early. So we're fighting the breeder, which is that giant enemy spider who stabbed the dude back in the intro and like sent me flying up into the roof of the tunnel. And it somehow teleported under this like snow mound over here in the end of the first area. Just don't think about that too much. So the breeder boss fight has 4 things she can do. She can shoot her stupidly powerful machine guns at you. She can drop red like super scorpion gas clouds on you. And she can launch eggs, which hatch in hunters, and she's got a 95 damage melee attack if you get too close. Here she is. So, she is this giant enemy spider, but her hitbox is literally just her eyes and her mouth. So this creates a bit of a dilemma, right? We want to shove Daddy Mav here down her throat and just let loose with the rapid fire, but we also don't want to get our shit rocked by that 95 damage melee attack. So what do we do? Well, it turns out she can't do that melee attack when she's like doing something else, like one of her other 3 things she can do. So we're gonna wait for her to shoot the gas clouds right now, because she can't do anything, and we're just gonna run up and barrel stuff her and watch that health bar. Boom. That's how you do it. Of course, I got the lame challenge. This challenge doesn't even happen in normal solo play, and it's just kind of a chore right now, because the other challenge that you can possibly get is kill the breeder in 120 seconds, which, you know, would be very easy. As you can see, I'm actively like keeping her alive right now. So we just have to keep her alive until she eventually decides to launch 5 eggs, and that's her little animation for launching eggs. So I'm gonna clean up these 2, and now we're at 3 out of 5. So we just have to wait for another like round of the eggs. Yep. And so the way the eggs work is she can launch them either on the left, middle, or right side of the map, and she usually launches them wherever you aren't. But they do take a while to like hatch, and so you can make your way to these pretty easy as long as you're actually trying to destroy them.
It's about to fire. Look out!
Yeah, so literally just waiting here for her to let us finish this challenge instead of killing her. Oh, here we go. 2 more eggs.
Shoot the eggs!
And there we go. There's the challenge, and I just finished her off real quick. That's why I did all that damage to her right at the beginning, so I can just knock her out the rest of the way whenever I need to. Now we just clean up all these enemies. That's the thing you're gonna see a lot is we have to deal with a lot of enemies like after a hive is over. So yeah, they're actually really dangerous, and it sucks a lot if you lose 2 enemies that are, you know, spawning after the hive. Okay, so now we finally get to do our little setup for the run. I'm looking for flares and I believe a muzzle brake. So obviously the flares are going to be really useful because they are like essentially this game's version of monkey bombs. They distract the enemies and can like save my ass, give me a bit of free time. I think I end up finding 3 flares, so I pick one of them up and then I memorize the other 2 locations because they're gonna end up being really useful like mid hive, and so I need to be able to pick them up like on the go. And then the muzzle brake extends like the damage range of my gun, and so that's cool. And so yeah, my gun is gonna be a Maverick with a rapid fire and a muzzle brake and a grip. That's essentially, it's the best, like, the Maverick with rapid fire is the best like balance of damage and ammo capacity that I was able to get this game, because I've got like, I don't have the Master Scavenger, which lets me find arcs and extended mags, and then also Cryptid Slayer ammo is just better in terms of both damage and the amount of ammo it actually gives you. So we're lacking in both the damage and ammo department. So the Maverick's really the only thing I could do. If ammo wasn't a problem, and if it was just damage that was a problem, I would be using an ARX 160 because it has like the highest full auto DPS in the game. But it also has no ammo capacity, so I have to use this thing, which is, it kills, I mean, the rapid fire makes it tolerable, but it kills stuff pretty slowly. Like, you're gonna see, I really have to put in the work on some rhinos. Like, it takes, like, a mag and a half, and just straight into a rhino's face to kill him. And, of course, the maxed out weapon specialist is gonna help us a bit, because, you know, effectively it's apparently a 25% damage increase. I guess that's what it feels like in game, because you already had a 20%. It just takes the 20% and replaces it with 50% when you reach that final level of weapon specialist. But it is noticeable, and it'll be nice to get. Of course, I don't have an arc though, so I'm missing out on that big damage boost. Yeah. So, this area is very hard and kind of bullshit. There are these RNG mechanics, specifically only really in this area. I call them the 420 crates. They're these big like shipping containers down there by some of the hives that will spawn in a random like enemy at a certain point in the hive, and that enemy can be, you know, it can be a cluster of 3 scorpions, or it can be like a hunter, or a phantom, or a rhino. And the shipping crate, all their serial numbers are 420, that's why I call them the 420 crates, right? They just bust open whenever they do, and they spawn that enemy. And the shitty thing is, you can be like fighting the rhino that is supposed to spawn in like naturally during the hive, and then at the same time, another rhino can just bust out of the shipping crate, and now you've got 2 rhinos you have to deal with. And, you know, with like the Pimp Daddy loadout, that wouldn't be too much of a problem, because that loadout can just kill anything whenever it wants. But we don't have that, and so that would be horrible if I got like the double rhino thing happening. Thankfully, that didn't happen this game. I think I only got like a cluster of scorpions and then a phantom out of the crates, so I kind of lucked out. And also, the hive that I'm doing right now, I specifically started on this hive so that I didn't get one of those shipping crates to open up, because there's none of them that are close enough to this hive, and I really needed to get the sleight of hand before I was ready to handle, you know, potentially 2 rhinos or like a rhino and a phantom at the same time. So, okay, I managed to pick up sleight of hand with that really easy challenge, and then we head down to this hive, and this is where the game starts getting like really fucking crazy. You see, I put my IMS in front of the shipping crate right there. That's one of the 420 boxes, by the way. I put my IMS in front of it to act as kind of like a claymore for whenever whatever spawns out of that crate spawns, so that I can just like get a quick bit of damage on it. However, I don't think the IMS actually does anything, because the 420 box decides to just take a while to spawn anything in. So. Oh yes, upgrade strategy. Oh yeah, and you can see the Phantom right there just tanking all of those shots. That's what I'm talking about with the Maverick not having crazy DPS. So, sorry, let's talk about upgrade strat. So I've got what I came to after about like 14 attempts. I think I got this on my 15th trial. Is I need to fucking Phantoms. I need to get level 2 armor right off the bat, otherwise I'll just be dying and I just won't be able to survive anything, because my health bar is just constantly running out. So level 2 armor first, and then I just rush up to level 3 weapon specialist so that I can get that sleight of hand, which is what I just got at the last hive. And now I'm putting 2 points into ammo so that I can, you know, have ammo. And then I think after that I finish off my weapon specialist upgrade, so I get the 50% boost. And then after that, the upgrades don't really matter anymore. So armor specialist, ammo specialist is the strat. Yeah, and you can see I kind of missed it, but the drill got taken down to about 50 health there. That's that co-op extra drill damage kept in. Here's a rhino. really had to figure out how to use like all of the tools in my loadout in order to survive this area, because my character is so weak compared to normal, and this area is insane. So you can see me like popping off flams and using the IMS as like a bouncing Betty, and Semtexes. It's wild. I actually beat this. This was my 15th attempt. I actually made it through and survived a run on my 14th attempt, but it was kind of messy and it wasn't a completionist. I kind of messed up the video recording, so I just redid it here and it turned out a lot better. Whew. Yeah, that's something I figured out right there. When a phantom's running up on you, you can just kind of like turn around and let him hit your shield instead of you. And so that's, a good reason to have the Riot Shield right there. You can use it. You can actively use the Riot Shield on your back, which is kind of weird to think about.
Incendiary rounds ready.
I think I end this game with like 7 drill repairs. It's really you gotta keep topping that drill off. I think it got down to like below 50 health, I think twice, and so if I hadn't repaired it, it would have died. Here we go. This one has a 420 box. It's in the back right corner there by the VKS. Oh, this challenge. Okay. Normally, you have some tool at your disposal which will let you see enemies through walls. I don't, honestly. For if you don't have like ferals or something, there isn't really any trick to that challenge. Find and kill the leper. You just kind of have to. Either, I guess maybe you could learn where he goes by just like observing him one time. So like sometimes he likes to hide up on top of like a building, and so you can kind of predict that. Other times you just have to hope. So yeah, that challenge is kind of dumb if you don't have ferals. And you can see the scorpion gas hitting me right there. It like turned my screen all green, and then like kept taking constant damage, and I couldn't move very fast. So I just always have to watch out for that. Oh. There's a seeker. Sometimes whenever a seeker gets too close, you just gotta run away and try to get as far away from him as you can to like minimize the amount of damage you take. See, okay, yeah, that phantom was kind of behaving normally. He just went and like sat on the shipping crate. That's what they generally tend to do. Also, phantoms like turn invisible when they jump. It's a funny little quirk, but it's not a big problem. There actually used to be a challenge though. Kill a phantom while it was jumping, and then they took it out because that's like bullshit. That's way too hard. Ooh, it's getting dicey. The drill's gonna get low a lot this run. Like it gets close. Seeing that scorpion's tail just reminded me. There's a few hives where like scorpions can essentially shoot you from behind cover, and it gets really tricky. You'll see one of those in the third area on this run, because they can just like hang their tail out from over the top and shoot you, and the only thing you can actually hit is their tail. Yeah. Seems like I handled that hive pretty well after I cleared out all those rhinos and stuff.
Incendiary rounds ready.
So these attempts for this run, for the no armory upgrades run, they actually started as me attempting it on the level 1 loadout, which is just like the default loadout that you start the game with, and that turned out to be impossible because you don't have armor, and not being able to just throw out another health bar on your whim is really tricky. And yeah, I got to about this far in the game, and then I was like, yeah, this is not happening at all. of actually, so I decided to go up the stairs to get to this hive. You can actually use that like drill jump trick that I showed off earlier to get up from the front side. It's kind of funny, but didn't need it. Ooh, yes, big boy challenge. This challenge and then the don't spend money for 2 minutes are going to be the hardest challenges of this game.
Creature neutralized.
And I believe I use up like all of these flares on this challenge. Maybe it's just on this hive, but it gets close and I use a lot of resources on this one.
Cover me, I'm reloading.
Yeah, this challenge is super restricted. You can't do anything. Like pretty much the only thing you can actually do is like buy traps. So just gotta use everything that's available to you. And you can, like, as you saw, the challenges all have like a 5-second countdown before they start, and so they aren't active until that 5 seconds is up. And so you saw me like buy an IMS and stuff before the hive started, and that is very important that you do that. Or not the IMS specifically, but important that you get yourself ready for the for the challenge before it starts. Even with that limited 5 seconds, you can prepare yourself a lot more than nothing. Okay, so this challenge is going pretty smoothly, but I believe a rhino is going to spawn in right at the halfway point on this hive, which is, you know, immediately as this hive ends. So I get ready for him. He's going to spawn off to the left and like dig his way out of the ground. There he is, okay. I dropped that flare. And there's the rhino. I dropped the flare preemptively so I could take care of this rhino.
IMS deployed.
And that's why there's a ton of hunters up here who could have like taken out the drill. Have no ammo. Yeah, this hive is wild. Oh, and the flare wore out and they're back on the drill. See how fast that health is dropping? So there's that flare. That's the one that I memorized the location of so that I could just drop another flare, you know, when need be. And again, that proved to be essential. Otherwise, you know, this phantom would have killed me, and then these hunters would have been on the drill. So you gotta, you know, when you take all your armory upgrades off, you gotta use everything that's like left in your, in like your setup. You just gotta use all your resources to survive. At least for this hive, it kind of chills out a little bit on like the next hive, but it ramps up again after that. So now, after this hive, the breeder is going to come down and she's going to like clear a pathway into the third area, but we don't actually have to fight her again, which is cool. I think at some point in development, the breeder, there used to be like another breeder fight, like right here. Because you're going to see her like come over the side of the building right here. Except I'm not going to look at her because I'm just trying to survive these enemies. Yeah, she's over there. She's going back up. Yeah, and her coming down there, I feel like that used to be like a second breeder fight at some point in development, but they decided just to take it out because it was kind of redundant. And so now she just breaks that little... that was loud. She just breaks that little pathway into the third area, and so now we're in the third area. Yee. So I start another setup phase right here, and I'm just looking for more flares, and I got both of them there. And then I'm looking for the muzzle brake because I didn't actually end up finding a muzzle brake as I set up for the second area. Okay, yeah. So the two flare locations, I went ahead and tried to memorize these ones as well, and I kind of do. I forgot where. I pull like a 10 IQ moment on the second to last hive, and I'm trying to like find the flare, but I can't find it, and so it gets really scary. But I do end up getting it, so all works out. I just saw like my mic symbol pop up on the right side of the screen. That's funny, because my mic was literally like unplugged for this run. So this area has 5 hives. You can do the first 4 in any order. The last one is always last, and it's up top. The first hive that I do, it's going to be this one right here. And it's because it unlocks another one of those like little secret rooms like we unlocked in the first and the second area. But in this one, there isn't any search boxes, you know, that have like the better probability. There's a wonder weapon, and we want to grab that as soon as possible. Obviously, it's really good. It's called the Venom X, and it's my favorite wonder weapon, like in any COD game, hands down. It's so it's so good. It's essentially it's like a two-shot grenade launcher with remote detonation and like a lingering gas cloud. So it's awesome. It one-shots, you know, it instantly one-shots anything less than a phantom, and if you let the damage over time do its thing, it'll take out phantoms in one shot, you know, eventually. It takes out, you know, in the later maps, it also takes out gargoyles in one shot. You can use it to get like insane like long shots with it. It takes out rhinos in about like 4, but I mean that's still really good. Okay, this challenge was a bitch on the previous run, because for some reason, like on my previous runs that I won but didn't get the completionist. This is one of the challenges I failed because the scorpions just kept like running away from me and going up to the top and like not spawning in enough. So I lucked out. One of them decided to come downstairs and I got him there. You'll see throughout this area I keep activating these electric traps, like this one right here. You're gonna see it. Boop, buy it for 750. So what those traps do is, yeah, above me, directly above me is the final hive, and it's surrounded by like a ring of like metal chain link floor or something, and those electric traps electrify that metal floor, and all of the electric floor traps are really powerful. You can see they like two-shot scorpions, and they hit really fast, and so, you know, you'll just see like plus 200s popping up on the left side of my screen when I definitely didn't kill anything directly, and that's just the trap doing its thing. And oh, okay, that scorpion went up to one that was turned off, so he didn't get got. Drill's getting got right now. Gotta repair it. Oh yeah, so in this area, it's, as you can see, we're inside like a research facility, and there is a roof here. So the meteors don't fall, and so the seekers just kind of spawn in like normal enemies, but I'm pretty sure they still spawn in groups. So, you know, you still gotta worry about them all at once. It's just now you don't know when they're gonna come in, and they can come in different places. Like when you're outside, the seekers only spawn in by the meteors, and so a meteor falls down and you can just look at the base of the meteor and know all 4 seekers are gonna come out there. And this one, you don't know when it's gonna come off because there's not like some massive lightning strike happening, and then they can spawn in, you know, wherever, and I'm pretty sure they can spawn in like at separate locations from each other, so the seekers get pretty scary in this area. Thankfully my loadout's getting like pretty powerful, like as powerful as it's gonna get in this area, so I can deal with them a little better. Alright, here comes the wonder weapon. Oh yes. The way you get ammo for it is whenever you kill an enemy, it has like a random chance to drop the ammo, and you just pick it up off the ground. And they drop it a lot. And in fact, I don't think it's actually random. I think it's on like a timer, and so it drops one with like the first enemy you kill a lot of the times after getting it, and then I think it waits a certain amount of time before giving you another one, and then it like lets you get another one when you kill an enemy. Yeah, see, we got one right there. And that ammo pickup, it works in a kind of a weird way. So when you pick it up, it gives you 2 shots in your reserve ammo, which you know, the Venom X, so it has 2 shots in the mag, and then it can have up to 4 shots in reserve, and picking up one of those gives you 2 shots in reserve, but it also fills your magazine as well, like on top of those 2 shots in reserve. So if you want to make the most out of a single like Venom X ammo pickup drop thing, you shoot 2 shots, reload, shoot another shot, or another 2 shots, and then you pick up the Venom ammo drop when your thing says 0/2. And that means, I think I'm going to do it on that Venom shot there. Yeah, see, I'm at 2-2, and I'm at 0-2, and then I pick it up, and it takes me back up to 2-4 instead of 0-4. So if you pick up Venom drops when your Venom X is empty in the mag, it gives you 4 shots instead of 2. So that's very important. It's a very, very important little thing to know in order to let you like use the Venom X efficiently. And it dropped another one. Here we go again. So 0-2, and I pick it up, and it takes me back up to 2-4. Of course, I put it away, so you didn't like see it directly go up to 2-4. But I mean, it does the same thing whether you're carrying it or not. One thing to note, if you're actually like gonna actually do that, sometimes your Venom X will like lock up on your screen and it won't let you switch away from it. When you do that, just melee and it'll fix it. I think that happens to me on the final Hive. I'll point it out when we get there. You'll know because your gun like does like a recoil animation, but then just kind of like freezes in place. That's weird.
Target neutralized.
And there's another one. Yeah, the Venom drops aren't rare, so use it a lot. That's my pro tip with the Venom X. Just use it. It's so good. It's so much fun to use. It's so like well designed.
Incendiary rounds ready.
Oh yeah, and the challenge for this Hive, I forgot to say anything about it. It was spend 6,000. Easy challenge. Yeah, you know, at the beginning of the game, I said that you don't ever get challenges to repeat. You actually kind of, there's like one circumstance where you can get that spend 6,000 challenge to repeat, but it's really weird and it's not technically repeating because it's like in co-op you have spend 10,000 and spend 20,000. You know, as a team of 4, you can get those 2 challenges, and so in solo both of the challenges are just 6,000, so it looks like it's repeating a challenge when it's actually not. Oh, I had a trophy down that whole time. The trophy system just blocks projectile shots, you know, like it does in multiplayer, and it's really neat because it blocks scorpion shots. If I recall, this Hive gets pretty wacky. Ah, yep, there's seekers, and so I just pick them all up with that shot.
Electric trap online.
And so I'm trying to keep the electric trap, or the electric floor trap that's facing this Hive. It's essentially just the corner of that platform up there where the Venom X shot is right now. I'm trying to keep that electric trap on so that I can spare myself from some scorpions. And we see our first rhino of this area. It's coming up from up top, but I don't have all 4. I don't have max Venom ammo, so I just reload it. I was conserving like the 0-2 setup on the Venom X, so that I could get those 4 shots that I was talking about instead of 2. But you know, when a rhino spawns in, you just gotta forget about trying to optimize your ammo and just take it. Oh yeah, that was close. So yeah, that's what the scorpions can do. They can shoot a gas cloud at you, and then that gas cloud can slow you down so much that just opens you up for enemies to just tear into you, and that's exactly what you just saw there. And we got another rhino. We got that point in the game where it just keeps giving you rhinos. I'd ran into a glitch on a previous run of this where it just spawned in like infinite rhinos for the second half of the second to last Hive. I actually have a video of that on I put it up on YouTube as well. I'll link it in the description of this one. It was insane. I wasn't seeing any rhinos at all throughout the beginning of the beginning of the 3rd area, and then when I got to that Hive, all of a sudden just like gave me all of them, and it just kept spawning in. Like it had 4 rhinos on the map at once for the entire second half of the game. But that didn't happen this time. Thank God. I would definitely not have been able to handle that in this run without my overpowered loadout. So lucked out. Didn't have that happen. Oh man. Took a lot of damage there. I don't have enough money. That sucks. Oh man. I keep trying to Venom X that Phantom, but he keeps running away from me. Okay, I got him with something. I don't know what. Yeah, man, these scorpions are scary. Because you can see, oh yeah, I don't have there's an armory upgrade called Toughness, and you know that does the same things it does in multiplayer. It dramatically decreases the amount of flinch that you take, or like the amount of flinch your guy has when he gets hit by an enemy. And so you can really see it there when the scorpions are hitting me, because it throws my aim like way off, and so I can't even try to like keep shooting the scorpions. And it's even worse with like phantoms and rhinos. But yeah, the scorpions are a problem, both because that flinch from getting hit throws me off of aiming at them, and then it slows me down, and it does a bunch of damage to me. Yeah, there's a lot of things that are just like painful that you don't normally experience when you have armor upgrades that you do when you take them off. And here's the big boy challenge. So I just spent all the money that I had, and I can't spend any more for 2 minutes. Normally there's a caveat to this challenge, and that's that you know, you can, if you have your class upgrades, like the infinite ammo weapon specialist, like you can use those normally, because they're abilities, but they don't cost money, so you can get away with them. I don't have that, so, you know, just straight up can't do anything. It's great. We get a rhino. Thankfully, I can still use the Venom X and everything. I mean, obviously, it doesn't cost money to use. It's not an ability either. I remember, like, back in the day, people, like, for some reason thought that Venom X was an ability, and you couldn't use it on the don't use any abilities for 90 seconds challenge, but that's, like, dumb. It's definitely not. Yes, got another Venom X ammo. That was, like, perfect timing on the Venom ammo, too. Wow. Right in time for that Phantom. Yeah. Again, it's always a good idea to keep your Venom X at 0.2 instead of 2.0, so that you can get the maximum amount of ammo from picking up one of those shots. But you know, in a situation like this where you just gotta stay alive, you just do what you gotta do. If you have to reload it and sacrifice those extra 2 shots, potentially, you just do. And so I use that flare there. That's gonna last 20 seconds. And now I begin my this is that 10 IQ moment. So I definitely stood there a little too long. I should have just grabbed that Venom X shot and like dealt with him with that. But so I go looking for that flare that I found. I know it's in this area, but I forgot which hive it was on. So this was kind of scary. I'm like, where is it? Where's the flare? And then I saw the prompt back there, but it's in the scorpion gas. And I finally get it. I'm like, okay, I can go back. Oh, and then I missed the jump out the window. Oh, that was an amazing play. 10 out of 10. Oh, and then I prematurely ejaculate that Venom X shot. Pretty sure I just deflected that Seeker hit with the Riot Shield. Yup. And then after this hive, there's actually a little story cutscene, because this map actually has a story, unlike the first map, which is cool. Of course, we're not gonna watch that, because it's not like a cutscene. It's actually like in the map. Like one of the characters, Samantha Cross, is like in that room that we just opened up, and she's talking to, or she's getting shot by the bad boy Archer. You see her in there, but we ain't got time for these hoes, so we're just gonna take the drill up to the final hive and win this shit. Slurp that venom up. Oh yeah, people used to think that Venom X ammo only drops by scorpions. No, it drops by everything. It's just kind of like on a timer, and like maybe randomized a little bit within that timer. On my previous run, I actually got, like the previous run that didn't work out, I actually got the don't spend money for 2 minutes challenge on this Hive, and I actually ended up completing it, which was wild. But yeah, the last bit of the game on my previous run. Oh, sorry. That was the thing that I was talking about 2 Hives ago, where the Venom X locks up after you pick up ammo when it's in the 0-2 like state. It locks up. It does like a recoil animation, and then just freezes. And so what you have to do is just like use your knife, and it gets you out of that lock. That's really important. Okay, so okay, yeah, I was talking about the previous run, the run that I didn't get the Completionist on. I got don't spend money for 2 minutes, and it was crazy. I got so close to death, and then you know it led into the breeder, because I wasn't able to prepare for the breeder fight because I was just trying to survive that Hive. And so the breeder fight was way more long and drawn out, and a lot scarier. But I did end up beating it. So I took a video. I made it unlisted on YouTube, just the very ending of that. I'll link that video, as well as, or I'll link the previous run's ending, as well as the that infinite rhino glitch I ran into like a year ago. I'll leave links to those in the description. that was a weird ass venom shot. Okay, here we go. This is where this Hive gets fun. Ooh. Yeah, you can see that lack of the toughness upgrade really kicking in there as my view is going all over the place whenever I get hit. Okay, so we got the venom ammo. And I just saw there's a rhino behind me and a phantom that just spawned in as well. So, or I think I saw a phantom. Yeah, I did see a phantom. But I threw that flare, so it's all good. The flare, it distracts everything except rhinos. So, yeah, the flares don't get rhinos, so you still have to, you can't just cheese rhinos with it. It gets phantoms though, so there's that. Of course, there is that glitch with the sticky flare that I used at the end of Awakening. Oh man, that's why I like the Venom X right there. It just pops off like that. There's a glitch with the sticky flares, which are a craftable item in the later maps. They're not in this map though, where you can you can attach the sticky flare to an enemy and the enemy stops moving. You can kind of use that to kind of make the flare work against a rhino in a way, but you know, that's not available to us in this map, so we just got to take the rhinos head on. Okay, and then that challenge was a lot easier than the previous one. So at this point, I go and I snag that other flare that I remembered. Got that one. And then I just gotta... It's gonna teleport me out to the final boss battle, which is the breeder fight again. But before it teleports me out there, it's gonna give me a countdown, and I need to kill this rhino, or else the breeder fight's gonna start out pretty wonky, because I'll need to kill this rhino while also focusing on not getting shot by the breeder. Also, yeah, sorry, the first breeder fight, we didn't kill him, we just made him go away. So yeah, this is the same guy. So here we go. We're gonna kill this dude quick. So the strat is, if you do enough damage to him, he falls over like this, and then we're just gonna unload on his head. He actually has a weak point. You can see that like glowing set of like eggs on his chest or something, or not eggs, but like there's like a glowing thing on her like stomach when she goes down, and that only shows up when she goes down. And if you destroy that, it takes off 1/4 of her health. You know, that used to be the strat, was to down her and then focus on that thing, but I believe that is not the move, because you can see we can still damage her head like just as normal. Like just like normal, if she goes down, we can damage her head. If we're shooting at the little pods on her belly to get that like 1/4 of her health taken off, the problem is it doesn't actually do any damage to her. It just drops the 1/4 of her health if you destroy it. So we just focus on shooting her in the face. Okay, kind of talked about that for too long, because we beat the first phase of her fight, and now we're in the halftime entertainment right here, where she goes up to like a rooftop somewhere, and we're just killing these 3 rhinos that spawn in real quick. Thankfully, I have their spawn location memorized, so I just can walk up to them, and as you saw, I can just unload all 40 shots directly into their mouth for critical hits on each one. And that helps me take them out a lot faster than just trying to shoot them normally. So yep. Now, okay, so yeah, we took off half her health, and then after that we can't damage her anymore until she comes back down from halftime. So that's why I saw that I wasn't getting hit markers on her, and then I just completely ignored her. Okay, and then once that phantom comes in, you know she's on her way back down. This time, her second phase, she does the exact same things as always, except she can heal using these pods. We're not going to give her a chance though, because we got these 4 venom shots. We're going to knock her over. We got 4 more right here because of that O2 thing. And we're just going to unload all of them on her face. And as you can see, my strat was definitely the move, because that did way more than a quarter of her health. It did half of it. Yup. Yay. And there we go. There's the Nightfall. No armory upgrades. Ultra hardcore completionist.